Hey YouTube, my name is Erica and thank you so much for clicking on this video and tuning in once again. You know what? I mean, since you already clicked on the video, you might as well just go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I mean, come on, we're practically best friends now. I'm going to be cranking out some good content that you guys are not going to want to miss. If you are interested in anything finance, building wealth, getting out of debt, learning how to budget, buying your first home, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's just build this little community. Y'all ready? Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica. Thank you guys so much for watching. So this video is going to be a little bit about who I am and why I decided to start making YouTube videos. Okay, so I am 28 years old and I have 2 children, and I decided to start taking my finances seriously back in 2016. At that time, me and my kids were living in this really small apartment, and I decided that I wanted to move out of that place, but I really didn't want to throw any more money away to renting. I wanted to buy us a house. And so I started looking into the market where I'm from in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC, and the houses were just crazy expensive. All the real estate up there is really just out of like a normal person's budget. And so I decided that I wanted to relocate because me and the kids really didn't care for it up there. You know, we don't like snow and we didn't like winter time. So I knew that in order to relocate, I wanted to get my finances in order, because in Virginia, I had a really good support system up there. You know, all of my family is up there. I knew what I was making income-wise, and my expenses, I kept them really, really low. For that area, my expenses were really dirt cheap, to be quite honest with you. And so before I relocated, I wanted to make sure I eliminated all of my debt. I didn't want that to be a worry and a concern. I already was going to have to worry about being in a new place and not knowing anyone. So the last thing I wanted to worry about is like coming all the way to a new state and being denied like a new apartment because I had bad credit and debt and stuff. So I decided to clear that up while I was still at home. And so that was back in 2016. So back then, when I decided to really start looking at my finances, not ignoring them, and just, you know, you get those bills in the mail, those collection bills or whatever, you just kind of scooting them over to the side, you know, throwing them away, not answering them or whatever. I decided to start opening those letters up, really getting a grasp of how big a mess, how big a hole I dug myself into. And once I started getting everything organized and I started to pay things off here and there, you know, I was getting excited. And of course, I was talking about it to like all of my family and friends. A lot of my family and friends were asking me to, you know, help them get out of debt and help teach them about finances. And they would ask me for advice on certain situations and things. So back then, you know, I in my head, I started thinking like, you know what? For one, I really enjoy finances. I really enjoy telling people all the things that I learned since, you know, on my journey and since getting out of debt. And so I had the like idea in my head back then. I was like, you know, I should probably just start making videos and telling people all the information I've been learning so that they can just go, you know, to the one place and just look at everything and, you know, pause, repeat, rewatch it if they need to. It was a lot more simpler than telling each individual person and trying to counsel each person individually. But I was just so busy working back then and on my grind. And then since then I have relocated. So I've just been so busy. So I didn't have the time to do the videos. But now I have time. So I decided to go ahead and start this channel. Also, on my debt freedom journey, as I was doing research, YouTube, just the internet, and learning so much about finances, I realized that all the advice I was getting and help and stuff I was getting, I had to kind of tweak it a little bit. It was always, I didn't quite find anyone in my circumstance, offering financial advice. It was always like a couple, so they had 2 incomes in the household, or someone was making pretty decent money, like high 5 figures, 6 figures, or maybe they were even, or someone that didn't have children. So I also decided to make videos because I feel like I'm sure there are a lot of single moms out there that want to better their financial situation. As a matter of fact, we're like we really, really need to, because we only have the 1 income and we have kids that depend on us. So that's another reason why I decided to start making videos. I'm like, I want to give some encouragement and some advice to women that they may be wanting to get out of debt, but they just don't know where to start and how to do it. And they may be out here looking at these videos kind of like I was, like, okay, you can, of course you can get out of debt. There's 2 of you in the household. You have 2 incomes, so you're able to leverage each other's incomes and time, right? Because while one person is working, the other person can watch the kids, or you have 2 incomes that can pay for childcare, stuff like that. So for all you single moms out there that want to get out of debt, that are having a hard time, you may feel overwhelmed because you have to work, you have to come home and cook, and you have to clean, you have to pay all the bills by yourself. I am here to tell you that it is possible. You can do it. It is not easy, but it is very simple, and it can be done, okay? Sometimes we just need to hear that. One thing that a lot of people don't talk about is, on this debt freedom journey, it's one thing when you're single and you're doing it by yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm not eating out all month, I'm not going out all month, I'm gonna work 15 jobs and I'm gonna get out of debt. But it's another thing when you're a parent, because any sacrifices you make, let's be honest, the kids have to make them too. I know I struggled with that a lot when I was going through my debt freedom journey, right? Because I really had to reduce all of my expenses. So that meant that the kids reduced their expenses, right? There wasn't any going out. There wasn't any eating out. There weren't, any new toys. I would take them like to small stores like the dollar store and stuff. And don't sleep on the dollar store. They have a lot of good stuff in there for cheap. But, my kids couldn't get the new bright and shiny this and that, not while I was on my debt freedom journey. So it really is a sacrifice for everyone involved in the household. But when I tell you guys that small temporary time of sacrificing is so worth it. It is so worth it. Now that I'm out of debt and I'm on the other side of the fence, I just feel like, I remember when I made my last debt payment, and I had been really just working like a dog, exhausted all the time, feeling terrible as a mom. Like, I wasn't spending enough time with my kids. And when my kids were home, I was sleeping because I was so tired. But that small sacrifice, when I made that last debt payment, it didn't even register right away, because then I was like, it was like this goal I had for so long, and I finally accomplished it. And then I was like, okay, like, now what do I do, So, but once it started to settle in, I realized all that extra money that I had that was going out to pay off my debt, I can now save it. And I did save it, and I ended up relocating. When I just tell you guys, the feeling is inexplicable. Like, it is so worth it. And you really have to do this. You have to do this for yourself. You deserve it. Your kids deserve it. And, you know, now that I am out of debt, now that we are out of debt, right? My whole, you know, me and my kids are out of debt. I really feel like my future is so bright, and so many doors and windows are now open. Back when you're, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in debt, it was just like this heavy weight on me. I was stressed out. I couldn't think about the future because I was still living in the past because I owed so many people debt. You know, I was just working just to get by. But now I'm able to think about my future. You know, now me and the kids are able to enjoy life and go places and do things. It really is worth it, guys. Please do it for yourself. Do it for your kids. So yeah, guys, that's just a little bit about me, Erica, and why I decided to start this channel, Be Debt Free. I have a lot more videos coming you guys' way. I'm just going to lay it all out for you guys. This step by step, what I did to get out of debt, how I ended up saving enough money to relocate as a single mom, different resources that I used, and just all the information that I gathered on this journey. I learned about a lot of different methods to raise your credit score. So if you guys are interested in learning more about getting out of debt, saving money, budgeting, first-time homeowner programs, please subscribe to my channel, click like and share this video if you know anyone that can use this information.